Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the Annenberg School and to the University of Pennsylvania. My name is Michael Carpini. I'm the dean here at the Annenberg School. When Johan contacted me probably a year ago about the regional conference being here in Philadelphia and whether Annenberg and Penn would like to be involved, I jumped at the opportunity. We're not a journalism school, we're a communication school, but deeply involved in all our teaching and research is attention to and concern about journalism. We study journalism rather than teach young journalism students. So many of our undergraduates do go on into the profession. I can't imagine a more important moment for having this conference, both because of the state of journalism generally and because of the specific issue of diversity in journalism. And so it's not only a pleasure, but an honor to be able to host you here for today's, what I hope will be really exciting workshops and events. So thank you all for being here, and welcome, and we'll have a few more welcomes for you right now.
NABJ, good morning. Yes, as many of you already know, I'm Johan Calhoun, your Region 1 Director. Please give yourself a round of applause. We can do better than that. So welcome to the 2017 Region 1 Conference, the Diversity, Innovation, and Technology Summit. I made the conscious decision to bring the summit to Philadelphia, not just to increase the learning capacity for journalists in regards to technology, but to showcase the many innovation projects that are being built or proposed in the great city of Philadelphia. This city is primed to be the next global innovation hub, beating the likes of San Francisco and Seattle. And in order for us to be that great innovative city, all hands must be on deck, including the residents of those neighborhoods near these multi-billion-dollar innovation projects. Brothers and sisters in West, Southwest, and South Philadelphia, Mantua, King Sussex, and Grace Ferry. We must include everyone at the table. Please take advantage of this moment. Seek ideas, inquire about jobs, network, and push yourself to advance your skill set to the next level. With this year's Region 1 conference being one of the largest in memory, we have over 200 people registered. Coupled with our successful fundraising efforts, this proves Philadelphia is more than ready to host NABJ for our national convention. Please give yourselves a round of applause. We'd like to give special thanks to Annenberg Dean Michael Carpini for hosting us, as well as Mayor Jim Kinney for welcoming our members to his great city. We also want to thank our Deputy Regional Directors, Nikki Mayo, President of the Baltimore Association of Black Journalists, and Zuri Berry, former President of the Boston Association of Black Journalists. Last but not least, we want to thank our sponsors, large and small, for believing in the vision of this conference. What you see in the booklet are companies and firms in Philadelphia that are dedicated to diversity. Diversity matters. Despite what you see every week on display on Capitol Hill, it's refreshing to know that there are people in high places in this city that believe in our place in life as Americans. At this time, I'd like to turn things over to our host chapter president, Melanie Roy, who is also the conference chair. Please give her a hand.
Hello, Region 1. Good morning. My name is Melanie Roy. I am the president of the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists. I am also the social media director for KYW News Radio. So PABJ is the oldest organization dedicated to the development of black journalists. We are also the founding chapter of NABJ. This conference follows in the steps of our founding mission, and I would love to welcome you to Philadelphia. So Philadelphia is no stranger to big events. We have had an NABJ convention. We've had the Pope. We've had the DNC, Region 1 now. And we will also have the NFL draft later this month, so I'm sure some of you will be back in town for that. The theme of this convention, as Johan said, is diversity, innovation, and technology. Technology continues to evolve. It has changed the way that we consume news, the way that we produce news, and sometimes how we find news. This summit is a great opportunity to sharpen our skills and deepen our networks. I hope you leave here today highly motivated and refreshed. But before I go, I want to thank my board, who worked really hard to produce the reception last night, and our sponsors for the party, WHYY, for also hosting us. And I hope you have a great day.
Good morning, NABJ. Good morning. I need no introduction, because this is home, right? Yes. So for those who don't know me, I'm Sarah Glover. I'm the national president of the National Association of Black Journalists, and I'm also the former president of the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists. And I live outside of Philadelphia still, although I work in New York, and I started my full-time journalism career in Philadelphia. So I'm so happy that NABJ is here this weekend. And I'm so happy that you guys are here to join us. And we want to continue the momentum that we have nationally, and it's programs like this one here in Philadelphia that makes our mission shine over the course of the year. And so thank you to all of you for participating. I want to thank Melanie Roy, the chapter president, the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists, and all of you for partaking in this important program. On the national level, we have a convention coming up in August, so I hope to see you all there in New Orleans. You can register through June 1st as a pre-registration discount, so please come out. We have some really great news happening over this week with the national organization. We'll launch our strategic plan early next week, and we are anticipating a record surplus in the 40-plus year history of the organization. It will be about $1.287 million for the year of 2016. So we all should celebrate that, and we have a lot we have to thank our partners and those sponsors, and really the story of NABJ will continue to propel. We have taken half of that, nearly half of that, $500,000, and put it in investments. And so we want to restructure the business of how we manage our business of NABJ and save. And I think that that's a lesson that all of us in our communities and across other black organizations, that we will hopefully be the gold standard that folks will look to the work that we're doing. And then the other half is we're using to pay our bills on time for the year. So we are doing the business of the association. We are managing with zero-based budgeting. So I want to thank our national board, Johan as our board representative here, and also as a Philadelphia representative representing Region 1. And with that, I'm so honored to be able to introduce the mayor of Philadelphia, Jim Kinney, who is a stalwart here in the city, former city council member, and now the mayor of this great city for the last 2 years, doing great things. And I think our conference about innovation and technology also speaks to the great work that he's doing to bring this kind of attention to the Philadelphia region. So with that, Mayor Kinney, welcome this morning. A big NABJ welcome to you.
Well, good morning, everyone. First of all, Johan, if you need another job promoting a city, we'll be happy to take you on, because you did a better job than I would have done talking about great things about what's going on in the city. So thank you very much. And Madam President, what do we have to do to get you moved in the city? We have 10-year tax abatements. We got neighborhoods going crazy. Okay, good. Thank you. I was in council for a long time, and when I became mayor in 2016, we were faced then and faced now with being the largest city in America with the largest number of people living in poverty. And it's disgraceful and it's embarrassing. And we lose so much opportunity and so much potential and so much energy, and we spend money on such stupid things like courts and prisons and incarceration and drug treatment and DHS services, when we could be building young people to meet their potential, and then to become the leaders and taxpayers and parents of the next generation. And so we embarked on a pretty expansive pre-K operation. We have about 2,000 new kids, babies and 3- and 4-year-old babies enrolled in quality pre-K. Those pre-Ks represent 88 businesses that are neighborhood-based, that are generally majority owned by African-American females, and it's their generational family businesses. They've been able to expand those 2,000 seats. We're paying for that with a beverage tax, and if anybody wants to fight Big Soda, give me a call, because it ain't been fun. They got a lot of money, and they are willing to spend it on just about everything but the pre-K tax. They spent almost $11 million fighting us in city council. They're spending millions of dollars on lawyers and lobbyists, and they're gone to the mattress with this, and we're going to fight them to the end. We hope we get through this this process, and then we can roll out another 4,500 pre-K seats, expand our community school base from the 9 that we have now to the 25 we promised. And as importantly, or more importantly, we're going to be able to borrow and leverage about $500 million in capital expenditures to refurbish all of our recreation centers, parks, and libraries in struggling neighborhoods. Why are these things important? Because if you're a little child and you grow up in a bad school and you live in a struggling neighborhood, and then you go after school to that rec center where the plaster's falling out of the ceiling and the computers are 10 years old and the pool don't work and the heat don't work and the library's got a leak in the roof and they have to cover the bookshelves because the books are getting wet, you don't have any hope, you don't have any feeling that anybody cares about you or your life, and that's why you become hardened and cold and you don't care. We have to change that narrative, and we can only change that over a period of years, because these kids are starting at 3 and 4. In the meantime, tech at every level, whether it's in the elementary school level, the high school level, the CTE classes and the schools that we have, and whether it's, we have a group of folks called Coded by Kids. Sylvester Mobley, I don't know if you know him or not, he's been doing this in rec centers throughout our city as a volunteer. He is now up at State Road in our county prison, teaching young men and women how to write code and how to build a portfolio of work so that when they do get out, they have a chance to take that work to a job interview. I was at South by Southwest for the first time a week or so ago, and it was an interesting tech conference, and then obviously it's tech first and then music. The thing that struck me, there was no diversity. There was no diversity. I mean, there was an Asian component, there was an Asian Indian component of people. There were very few, if any, African Americans. Well, thank you for being here. Put it this way, am I lying? No. I'm not lying. Okay, good. So I attended a few weeks before that a BAYOC conference in Washington, and had a chance to meet Dave Stewart. I don't know if anybody knows Dave Stewart. He is the owner of Worldwide Technologies, which is the largest African-owned business in America. They do $10 billion in gross sales a year, and have 4,000 employees all over the country and all over the world. And I've been working with him to get a friendship and a relationship, so I want him to bring 100 jobs to Philadelphia and start to put his flag down in Philly. I think that's important, because as much as I love our Chamber of Commerce, as much as I work with them, it's old white men for the most part, and there's not a diversity in there that we're looking for. And I reach out to people like Dave and others because I want their presence in Philadelphia to be role models for our kids, to understand that you can go from a farm in Missouri with 10 brothers and sisters, where your dad's a farmer and your mom's a teacher, and own one of the largest companies in America. And I think that is the kind of role model that I want to see. So we're looking to talk about a tech conference in Philly, probably in 18 or so, where it would be a diverse tech conference, and attracting diverse folks to come in and talk about how tech can improve and impact all of our lives, both financially, public safety, how we deliver city services. There's so many different things. It's like it's unending, the possibilities. And we think we don't want to call it North by Northeast, but I came up with this idea to maybe call it the North Star Conference. The Frederick Douglass newspaper, North Star, that it's that economic independence, it's an economic, revolution that we really need in this country, and I would like your help with that as we get closer to designing it and trying to get more people involved. If we could capitalize on all of our kids and all of our neighborhoods in every part of the city, we would save so much money in what I call misery dollars, the misery spend. And we could be putting that money into education and into recreation, into programs for young kids. So that's what we've been dedicated to here in Philadelphia. And I know that this organization has a great relationship with our city and is very supportive of our city, even though you represent media outlets and newspapers around the country. But I'm happy to be here today. I'm really happy to give the opportunity that you invited me here today. I'm very excited about the possibilities in our city. And I will tell you that I have a lot of difficult things I deal with. The last 2 months or so have been pure insanity. It's just pure insanity. I don't even know sometimes how to even respond to it. When I think about the backward way we're going, we're marching back into medieval times, and this sanctuary city issue that we're dealing with, and calling back civil rights, and bathroom use and gender. It's just such craziness that we have made so much. As I said, we've made so much progress under the last administration. We had probably the best first family in the country's history. I mean, think about it. 2 professional parents who actually love each other, no scandals. No scandals. 2 young ladies who comport themselves with dignity and grace. Everybody even liked the mother-in-law. It's like, who likes the mother? I mean, they move out and the Kardashians move in. And I'm like, and I said that at another event, and a lady came over to me, she said, "You are insulting the Kardashians." So, we will deal with those struggles with both the federal and state government. We think we're on solid ground on sanctuary cities. I took an oath to support the 4th Amendment to the Constitution. That means you can't hold anybody without charge. And if we start going that direction, they're going to start scooping other people up besides just the undocumented immigrants. We cannot back up on any of this stuff. And I think that the African American community in the United States of America are one of the communities who get him and understand what a danger he is. And I try to argue with some of my own peers who voted for him, and I'm like, how's it working for you now? And some of them are like still holding on, they still got the red hat on. And some of them are going, yeah, all right, I don't want to talk about it. One of my dearest friends in the world was the most avid Trump supporter, and I stopped talking to him for a while. I got off Facebook, he got off Facebook with me, and we just avoided each other. So we went out to dinner a couple weeks ago, and he went, all right, just leave me alone. I made a mistake, stop, all right? So we'll continue to fight that back. I have attacks coming at us from Harrisburg. I mean, we have a state representative in Philadelphia, nice young lady. I mean, she's a nice person, but she introduced a bill to defund our own city. Like, what I think people generally go to the legislature to bring money back to your city and be proud about it and tout it. And then I have Jeff Sessions. I don't know what I have no idea what he was talking about, but he just went on. And they're going to defund police departments. Oh, that'll make us safer. Seriously. We have the lowest crime rate in the 30-year history in the city. Now, one homicide is one homicide too many, one shooting is one too many, one crime is one too many, but we're at the lowest rate we've been in 30 years. We are a sanctuary city. How can you explain to me that we're this wild-eyed group of undocumented immigrants running around killing and raping people? I mean, it's just not happening here. And it's unfair to lay crime at the feet of undocumented and documented immigrants by alluding to the fact that somehow all this crime is a result of their being here. So we have lots of fights on lots of levels, but we have a lot of hope and enthusiasm that we can get through all this and make those, when I'll end with this, I go to a school every week because it makes me sane. Because if I have to deal with the stuff I have to deal with and I can't see the reason why we're dealing with it, then I'm going to lose my mind. And when you go into a pre-K or kindergarten and you see the promise there, these kids are unspoiled, they're pure, they don't see race, they just want to learn and they want to hug you, which is problematic when you get sick all the time from being hugged by them, but that's a small price to pay for that kind of love and that kind of reaction. And our kids can do it, our kids can make it, our kids can meet their potential, and with your help and with the help of technology and improved education, they will, and we'll have success stories like Dave Stewart left and right. So have a good time here. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna get this party started. The first sessions, we have Annenberg is gonna be in room 110, and the Science Center with Stephen Tang, please raise your hand, is gonna be in room 109. There is a change. Dwight Evans will be in room 500. I believe that workshop is at 2 o'clock. That's upstairs. So we're gonna have volunteers to get to room 500. You need to take the elevator to the 3rd floor, and we're gonna have someone to direct you to room 500. And please, throughout the day, throughout the course of the conference, please hashtag NABJ Philly 17, because a lot of stuff, just like the mayor gave you, a lot of information is gonna be breaking today. So we want you to share that with the world, not just Philadelphia, not just the East Coast, but with the world, because this is a big thing that's happening here in Philadelphia. So if you have any questions, holler at me. But for now, let's check out these workshops. 9:40.
Before we break, just very quickly, it's just really important that I wanted to make sure that you all knew that we had one of our NABJ founders here with us today. Founder Allison Davis will be here for the day, and I wanted to physically ask her to just come down so you can see her. Come on down. Just yes, and Allison, there are I lose words when I think of our founders to be able to introduce them, and I think it's just very important that we take a moment to pause. Allison, if you wouldn't mind, I'm feeling just very emotional because we lost a founder just recently and celebrated his life yesterday. But Allison is based in New York or outside of New York, and is a former television producer. She actually launched the Today Show. MSNBC, I'm sorry. She was a producer and EP and a long storied career with NBC and CBS and other networks, and actually launched MSNBC. A black woman launched MSNBC. We need to tell those stories. So Allison, just a few words, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, and just a few words. I'm very excited about this technology conference because most people will know that I am very much of a geek, and so I'm always delighted to learn more things. I really do hope that I see all of you in New Orleans. And I just wanted to say one thing. As somebody who's been involved in NABJ for as long as I've been involved in NABJ, and I wanted to say that I was a founder at the age of 22. So there are three of us who are the babies, the founders. But I was so delighted to hear what Sarah said in terms of finally being in the black. I can't tell you how important that is for any organization, but particularly for this organization. And so I always appreciate people celebrating the founders, but please celebrate Sarah and her team for doing something that so many of us thought to be impossible. And that is to make sure that this organization is sustainable and this organization continues long after all of us are gone. So I applaud you, and I hope everybody joins me.
Thank you. Thank you.
So have a good time.
And it's a major team effort, and we have a really great team. Our founder that we most recently lost was Claude Lewis, who is not only a founder of NABJ, but also a founder of this chapter, the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists, and was the first black columnist in the city of Philadelphia. So Philadelphia has an amazing history for our organization. And then lastly, also wanted to share with everyone, if you did not know, one of our former presidents of this chapter, Monique Oliver, passed away this week. And so it's with sadness that we share that. And if we could just have a moment of silence to remember her. Thank you for your time, for your attention, and we honor those that came before us. We honor those that were still with us, and it's their spirit that will carry us through, not just today, the end of the year, but onward, and continue to support both the Philadelphia chapter, all of our chapters, and NABJ. Thank you.